Well, good evening, Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise fans. We are here one more time. Uh, we are here for the second semifinals of the Free Enterprise Twinvitational. I am Demarine2, and I'm joined today by the Space Drake. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing all right. This is your friendly neighborhood Space Drake here, here to help commentate what's looking a little bit like a David versus Goliath match here.
Yeah, no, we have on our left side, we have the Breadman's Bakery. They were perfect through the first three round-robin rounds. They have not suffered a loss yet. Nitsguy and Z-Man on the other side have currently stand at 0-3. But the Kain Krushers do have their mascot to start things off, which could be a big push for them. So we will see how this starts off.
Mm-hmm.
We are experiencing looks like a slight bit of a cropping issue, so we're just going to try and get that one ironed out. But then we'll be able to get started.
Stream, please. Whoop. Though, as it has been pointed out before, here in the Twinvitational, a lot of the teams that have found their mascot character first have gone on to win the match, and we are starting with Kain this time around. So, advantage Kain Krushers? Question mark?
I don't know about that. I know that my team, the Sylvan Spelunkers, we had Rosa first, I think, in 2 matches, and in those matches we went, I believe, 0-2. So you never know, really. It's going to come down to a lot of routing and a lot of good play, hopefully, on the parts of our forerunners and how they kind of distribute the load, and when and where they're able to make their breakthroughs.
Yes. And Echostream, yes, this is a channel that has been around for about a month now, I want to say. We established it toward the end of October, and the whole point of the Free Enterprise channel is to have a dedicated channel for the streaming of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise content, usually in the form of competitions. So, if someone wants to run an FE, race or round robin tournament or what have you, and there's just not time or room on, say, Randomania or the Speed Gaming channels, we have this.
Well, and not even not room, but we are definitely gonna we have people have access to this if they want to. If they actually do want to use it for things, like if we want to run smaller events as well, that option does exist on our Discord. So, hasn't been sort of taken up yet. I know the holidays are a little bit tough. It's December, for goodness sakes, and I know that a lot of us in the community are loading up for GDQ next month. So, as we work through these technical issues, keep in mind that there's other things that, we can there's definitely going to be more on this channel for sure.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, OBS, please. OBS, please.
Oh God, can I say the words? This has never happened before.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, no, this is a thing that happens, so we are just going to try and keep things moving forward. I mean, I think the really interesting thing about this matchup is that Nitsguy and Z-Man have been running Final Fantasy IV as a vanilla speedrun and also Free Enterprise for quite some time, while Artea and Pidge are both fairly new to the community. I think they're summer editions, late summer into early fall. So, a lot of this is oftentimes it's just as much experience with each other as a team as it is individual experience as well.
Oh, for sure. And, we have some fairly new runners here in the bakery of the Breadman, and they've gone 3-0 so far.
Yeah, no, and so there's a lot of it that goes into kind of strategy, and like we talk about a lot about routing in terms of key items, but there's also routing in terms of making sure that both players get enough power to be able to kind of do things, to be able to get through roadblocks, so that you can, send people to the moon if necessary, early underground dives, things that you can be really aggressive with routing, which ends up being really important.
Yeah, one of the great challenges of 2v2 is you'll have your team ideally split off to explore different parts of the map, of course, but one person is probably either going to have to do a lot of the standard early grind a little bit later. Now, happily armed with some more information from some of the other towns and whatnot, or they're going to have to hope that they can find some other place to make up ground, like maybe finding some early sirens and getting a little bit of that ordeals experience in, or something similar. Or they're just going to have to play real smart in some place like, say, Eblin Castle, and hope they get experience on everyone who needs it.
Yeah, and a lot of it might just come to needing to gamble to go someplace to get experience or leave places behind. A lot of these things can come into play, so our runners are about to get going right now, though. So we're going to see who is going to be out there with Kain, and how we're going to start off this K4 seed, where items could be, in regular key item spots, or they could be in trap chests, or they could be behind summon bosses, and there's
Porum
and a diamond gauntlet.
Yeah,
and the best news is we know where Golbez is.
Yeah, no, Golbez is here in Baron Castle.
Yeah, that means you don't have to worry about running into him elsewhere, slowing things down. But now you know that if you go into Baron Castle, you're gonna have to do a little bit of waiting and watching.
Because this is B1, we know that Baron Castle is not required to get to the underground. Yep. Or I believe, since it's K4, to get to the moon as well, because
that is not accurate. Interestingly enough, you can still have any boss blocking your moon access.
In K4 that gets exciting.
That it can only have the darkness crystal, though, if underground access is someplace else at this point in time, because I believe the logic would stop both items up there. So that's actually, again, some handy information. As you see, our teams split off. You've got Pigeon on top going to Damsian Wild.
Looks like Damsian has some good Rydia stuff.
Yeah, Dragon Whip, there's a Protect Ring there. Artia and Z-Man are trying to get us information on Baron. I missed the character at the end, which is a little bit bad on my part.
Yep. At first, I thought that Pidge wasn't going to go for the hovercraft, but then she decides to do it, as does Nitsky.
I mean, it seems like you almost always need it, so it's
a lot of Dragoon armor here in the Aqueduct, which is going to be real good for this Kain start.
Yep. Pidge finds the Mist Dragon at the Watery Pass, so we're going to actually have a Mist Dragon sighting. She's not going to fight it right now, even with the Adamant Armor from the Adamant Armor that was found in Upper Damsian, which Artia is going to pick up immediately, and I'm sure Z-Man will be moments behind.
Yeah, like Artea not even going for the basement, just going straight for that Adamant Armor.
Yeah, both runners popping the hovercraft immediately, and both runners, play that you don't always see in that you don't always see in K1 or K2, but here in K4 it's probably okay. And both runners popped hovercraft and got Adamant Armor, which is pretty much the best possible
card. Pidge deciding to take this demist fight actually, while Nitz goes into Antlion Cave.
Yeah, I mean, with the Adamant Armor on Kain, I don't think Pidge is terribly afraid of anything at this point, but this spot is very fast. So this could take a little while, because we're going to see the Mist Dragon and Mist Form a lot. And this spot is not unhealthy either, so this is going to be a bit of a time loss probably. The knowledge enough might have been good, and you could maybe get an extra character or two, or some slow magic on for him, because slow is really handy for D-Mist.
Now, in case we have anyone sort of new to the flag set that we're using, the whole reason that you would want to fight D-Mist at all is because in the flag set that we are using with no free lunch, the Mist Dragon actually locks a key item, or a key item slot, where we probably could find a key item, or we could find some other piece of loot.
Yep.
But as most key items are weighted towards being in key item spots, even though you can find some of them in chests and whatnot, it's still very worth doing this, even if it takes a while.
Yep. On the other side, by the way, we've got Nitsky down at the bottom of the Antlion Cave, which is usually one of the first key item locations that players delve, because it's fairly easy.
And finding Asura for his trouble, which is not as bad here as it could be elsewhere.
Yeah, ends up being all right so far. The two jumps end up doing the job with a Cure 3 in between, so it's not so bad, and that's going to get some levels there.
Yep.
And so Nitsky is going to be rewarded with the Rat Tail, so no hook yet to go and drop it off at the Adamant Grotto, but it is in hand at this point.
And cabins are in Troya.
And Bakashinobi, no, Pidge did not cast any slows, but she does push through eventually with the Kain damage from that Adamant Armor.
Yeah,
long but doable.
Yeah, I'm not sure I liked that play. I get wanting to put your Avenger on Kain as soon as possible, but I'm not sure I liked taking that much time on Misty.
I don't think that was an Avenger, though, because it was getting pop-ups. It might have been an Ancient Sword, which has a very similar sprite. Yeah. And the reward here is, well, it's a Gungnir Lance, which is not the worst thing to be finding, certainly. It's a power weapon for Pidge. It's Kain's, I believe, third best spear, and, it's a good starting weapon, certainly, but that means the Mist Dragon is blank, but having that kind of out of the back of your head if the seed goes long is kind of nice.
Yes, that is still good knowledge for Breadman, and there's a pretty decent chance that at some point the Krushers are going to think to make the same play, especially if they bother checking the Watery Pass at all.
I mean, I don't know if they think to make the same play. That's not a play that every team makes, and I know Silverfire and I, when we were running practices for this tournament, when Siege went long, the two of us would just go, oh god, we haven't found the Mist Dragon yet, and that would be kind of the thing, was, please let us run into the Mist Dragon, we don't care where, so...
Meanwhile, we have Yang up there at the top of the mountain. Is this even randomized? Sigh.
Yes, Space Drake, we didn't start with the package. Golbez is actually in Baron Castle. Even though Yang is up here, we're fighting Antlion. Rydia's mom had an item which doesn't even happen in the vanilla game. She's normally just dead. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit randomized. I couldn't tell you.
I'm not entirely sure I'm convinced. But as we continue on, so there's not a whole heck of a lot in Mist, and Pidge has moved on to beating up this clearly not randomized Antlion, and makes very quick work of it with that Gungnir. So Mist Dragon is starting to pay off.
Yep, finding an endgame weapon for any character this early on is always nice to have lying around, because, bosses scale based on the locations that they're in. So, of course, if a boss is in an easy location, but you've got weapons that way outstrip it, and you've got an Adamant Armor for the plus 15 strength, you're going to do some sweet, sweet damage. Z-Man checking Typo Shop and picking up some life potions for his trouble, which is pretty handy, and the character in the bed is, well, it's Edward. I wouldn't do that. If I had the Sand Ruby and got Edward as my third character, I wouldn't be that sad. He can equip daggers and bows, and, so he's back row viable. He's always back row glitched with a harp. He's got his uses, certainly.
This is true.
He's not going to scale into the end game, but, is he going to get you through that mid game if it's a hook seed? Absolutely.
And also, I completely agree with supremacy here. The lack of a spoon flag, since we are still on the stable release and not the 0.3 beta, is a bit of a bad feel situation.
Yeah. Artia, with not a terribly large amount of gear here, other than that adamant armor and ancient sword on Kain, is checking Power of Zot for the one chest.
Mm-hmm.
Puts the Ice Brand onto Kain because, well, Flame Dog, Ice Dragon ends up working out all right.
Yep. And this is actually a play I sort of tend to make myself the early Zot check, because I play a lot of K3 and K4, and I've had a lot of cases of that dumb dog guarding that one item I need to progress.
I've run into Flame Dog having Magma Key way too many times for my liking, but also I hate this check. It feels like a waste of time a lot of the time.
Yep.
If you've got to delve deep and you get nothing, you're going to reset out for your time. It's nice to know that it's done, but it can eat up time that you could be spending in Baron Inn.
Yep.
Where there is a character, you could be climbing ordeals, which takes a while, but that's 3 bosses, which is handy for other things, and we know where Tella is, so I don't know. I'm not always in love with this particular check, but it is happening right now.
There's Flame Dog.
And there goes Flame Dog. Quad damage jump with the Ice Brand sword, and Flame Dog is destroyed instantly.
Some inventory action going on, and I believe Pidge is about to do Fabul. That's a Murasame, and it looks like Artea's going to go ahead and keep that.
That's not very exciting, and you've already got a Masamune from Damsian if you looted the other side, so I'm not in love with leaving with this. I think that resetting out is going to be a quicker play here, but it is a fantastic sword, and if you're running around with Edge with 2 swords is extremely good.
Yes. Well, the elements over at Fabul, which is finding them here is a pretty easy fight, just because it has so little HP.
Yeah.
And we don't even end up seeing Balbalas in there. It just gets killed right on the turtle.
Yeah, the fact that we saw Kainaza is a little bit odd, but that's how it goes sometimes. And Pidge is going to pick up a Masamune, so more edge blades.
Yep.
Drain Spear in the chest, so bad Kain weapons. Z-Man picks up a Masamune in Evelyn Castle, our first Evelyn Castle check. 3 possible key items here.
Yep.
So if you wanted weapons for Edge, well, going into Tower of Zot was not necessary, interestingly enough.
Yep, that turns out to have not actually been that good a play.
Although those sell for a ton of money. Like, if you want items, you can have items. And Z-Man is putting some of that money / items to use as he is laying some stop onto these Mad Ogres.
Yep. This actually goes to something I was talking about a little while ago, with having to find alternate sources of experience, depending on how you have to route to help your team. Because normally this would be an incredibly dangerous play to make, because the monsters here are more or less tuned for the end of the second third of the game, but with both the adamant armor in your possession and also the hourglasses, this is a lot more manageable and is going to result in really good experience for Z-Man.
Yeah.
To the point that go ahead.
I mean, with the hourglasses, by the way, what they do is they cast stop on all enemies, which on bosses is not terribly useful, but since we're checking trap chests, it can be useful just to put something on lockdown. And then it's just a matter of having enough damage output to work your way through them.
So we've got some Star Veils in Agart, and I'm a little surprised that Z-Man wasn't using the life glitch there to squeeze even more experience out of that, because with that much control, I definitely would have considered doing that. And Artea makes extremely quick work of the evil wall, going for Tella. Oh, it's Pain Man!
He's got Cure 2 potions, but we're going to see if he... I don't know how much damage Pain Man does in this particular spot, but the Dark Knight waves are about to start flying. It's just... The thing is, he's going to be able to get a heal off after everyone because he's so slow, but he does enough damage to one-shot Kain by 2 hit points.
2 hit points!
Yeah.
Not even the Adamant Arm will save you.
Well, nothing will save you from that. It's completely non-elemental damage and just rips right through. Not going to need a lot of levels to get Kain up to the point where he can survive that. Mm-hmm. But, you know, we have the reversal of fortune from the vanilla game where Kain kills Cecil. In this case, Cecil kills Kain.
Yep. And Pidge now making that dive into Evelyn Castle hot on Z-Man's trail.
Yep, finding the Matter chest here with Yang in play and gets down the hourglass, so not going to have too much in the way of problems here. Z-Man finds a mute knife, which would have been really handy for some of these fights, but, you know, it doesn't really have anybody to put on other than Kain, so...
And as Moonblaze Wolf points out, yeah, if it's not one of these 2 chests in Eblin, it is almost certainly ordeals for progression at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the major thing is that Dark Knight Cecil can block Moon and Underground because this is no free lunch 1, so free bosses don't count. So Dark Knight Cecil could have the Magna Key on his belt, potentially.
Yes.
Could also have the hook on his belt. It's a pretty big thing to be carrying around, but let's be real here.
And speaking of which, Artea is making that ordeals check.
Yep, while Z-Man is in the second trap chest, is able to down the 4 skulls, has the Staleman alive, pulls up Porm to make sure that she gets the experience points, because that's super important.
Oh yeah. And I was just going to say, I was a little surprised that Pidge left Porum dead for that one fight, and there's an Artemis bow on Mount Ordeals, which, if nothing else, Porum is going to appreciate that if you have to do damage with her. And it's a Durgan on top of Ordeals. Not too scary in this position.
No, and if you have Star Veils, you can just line it up that once the Reflect comes out, or once the Mega Flare comes out, you can just reflect it. Nitsky gets down the Evil Wall easily, and Yang with 500 hit points, as long as Nitsky has Cure 2 potions, he'll be in the clear.
Mm-hmm.
Pidge is stocking up right now as well in the item shop in Silvera. Nitsky, though, has decided to go with Plan B, which is let's fight the Dark Knight directly. Let's use Kain jumps to just dish out a big pile of damage and not worry about it. This ends up being a good play just because of the speed of it all.
Yeah. And there goes Porum immediately. Ouch.
And yes, Blaze, the Staleman chest ended up packing up the hook, so Z-Man has an idea that there's a chance that this is a hook seed.
We won't know for sure until we see the top of Ordeals and this other chest, though.
Yeah, and Nitsky, of course, in Baron Inn, adds on the tower key, which is a good find at this point, all things considered, because if we know we've got to go underground, getting full 6 item value instead of 5 out of the tower is kind of nice.
Yep. Diving Babil without the tower key really, really sucks. I can tell you that from experience.
I mean, in K3, K4, it's a thing that you do basically on the regular, though. You may not love it, but it's the right play. Third trap chest had the full moon for Z-Man. So looks like the Krushers have taken a bit of an early lead, having cleaned out the entirety of Eblin Castle first. Pidge needing some more items, so had to sort of cut short and come back.
Yep. Feeling a little uncomfortable with all of those really big, tough upper Babylon enemies stalking around here.
Yeah. Z-Man's taking the time, though, to pop in. Going to find another Edge Blade on the Flame Dog chest here in just a moment. While Nitsky is joining Artea up on the mountain. Artea's second boss on the mountain was Mom Bomb, which is not a bad find.
A little bit of a life misplay there, just because the targeting up here can get kind of dumb with these back attacks that are never meant to actually happen in the game it's printed.
Yeah, it ends up not mattering though, so Artia is through the Mother of All Bombs without too much issue. Kain's able to stand pretty tall. I think he burnt a use item that he had found. I think he burnt a Boreas that he had found in Silvera to work his way through. And so we are gonna get to see what we get from the mountain here.
And Pidge coming up on the hook.
And we have just an assassin's knife from the top of Mount Ordeal, so it's a knife that has the instant death effect on it. It's actually not a bad find per se, but you know, if you're climbing Ordeals, it's kind of what you want. But sees Baigen at the top of Ordeal, which is actually a good find.
Yep, Baigen is not too hard to kill up here because the Ordeal's trial room has virtually no health.
Yeah, and Baigen is a boss that can obliterate players in tough locations. It's, you know, he's fast, he's getting 3 actions to your 5. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what your actions are. If the arms aren't dying, he is killing you.
Yes. But we have the annoying Chancellor in a very easy spot.
And Z-Man's up here, and Z-Man's going to go ahead and check the first boss here, because as we know the Mist Dragon is at Watery Pass. We know all the Mist Dragons guard against the Gungnir lands, but Z-Man doesn't know that yet.
So Z-Man and finds the Dark Elf.
And finds the reset button on his system and decides it's time to reset out of that fight, because there's no real need here. Pidge is going to go ahead into the basement and find the 3rd trap chest in just a moment before she hits the gate.
Yep. And Artea getting off the mountain, and I would imagine is going to head over to, heading to Fabul first. I would imagine Artea will head over to Eblin here pretty soon once Pidge and Artea work out that this is in fact a Hooksy.
Yeah, I mean, they should have worked it out by now. There's no place else to go. It's just looks like he's looting it out for the Protect Ring, which is a good pick-up, a nice piece of defensive armor. Maybe if there's any items that needed to be shopped up here, going to do some item shopping.
It does let you put Protect Rings on both Yang and Porum at this point, and they both appreciate that.
Yep, and so ends up working out pretty darn well.
Yep.
Alright, Pidge done with Eblin. No Magma Key, which we know doesn't exist. Z-Man is doing the checks for Miss Dragon and is not going to find her here, but, we'll find her in just a moment at the Watery Pass. Hoping he gets...
Calcabrina over at the Miss Dragon position. So we know that that's another occasionally annoying boss that is off the rotation, though that does leave a couple other real killers who could be lurking around in Upper Babil, and we have to go through both of them.
Yep. And it looks like that Pidge and Artea have sort of picked up the pace a little bit, knowing that Tella is there, but with no key item other than the tower key. Artea is going to pick up the hook, while it looks like Pidge is taking a moment to go and
pick up an old man?
Make a safety save before grabbing more so probably the tower key than the old man.
Yeah. And also finally putting poor Porum in the back row there. I was going to comment on that. Part of the problem Porum was having for Pidge is being up front all the time, and I was slightly curious as to what was going on with that.
Yep, and as we can see with some of the cross-communication between our runners, you can see that Artea was able to beeline the hook chest, knowing exactly where it is.
Yep.
While on the flip side of the coin, Pidge is able to, Pidge is going to have no problem with this, because she could just stand here and take 3 hits without any trouble. Yep. Even Porum's going to survive the first one and heal the party, so... And as you can see, like we were talking about before with Pidge in that Mist Dragon fight, you can see that Z-Man, with all of his gear and these levels that he's picked up from traveling the world, he is much more powerful now.
Yeah.
But he's about to find out the dirty truth, which is, let's go underground the hard way.
I hope you like a spear for Kain, because otherwise... Womp womp.
Well, you do like the spear for Kain, but it's way better than anything else you have, so it's not the worst thing to find, honestly.
It's true.
But yes, Blaze, you're surprised nobody has rushed the hook path. We're 23 minutes into the seed, and nobody is through to the underground yet. I'm a little shocked, too.
Well, everyone is hoping that there's a magma key somewhere up here so that they don't have to go through Upper Mobile. But nope.
That was more of a particular direct reference for Blaze for the first semifinal race that we had, where I rushed the underground path with the hook basically right off as soon as I got it. Blaze got it. I don't think anybody else did, but I guess the joke here is that by now I was already underground.
I remember that race. And I'm actually a little bit surprised because it seems like no one is going to go turn in the tail, which I believe we have at this point.
We do. It is on, however, it's on Nitsky and Artea. Artea is currently getting a little bit of extra experience on his party here in the, in another trap chest in Eblin, while Nitsky hasn't gotten the hook yet. So neither of our runners who have the rat tail have been able to check it yet.
Yeah, and it looks like Nitsky is working down toward Eblin, maybe?
Yep, he's going to be our first runner making the dive here. There's one trap chest in the underground path here, in the Eblin path. There is going to be one in the upper tower. But Z-Man is our first runner who is taking the time to dip down here.
Yeah.
While Pidge is currently climbing up Mount Ordeals. I don't know if there's anything lootable or if, she just that desperately wants an assassin's dagger, but...
There is also the Artemis bow up here, which is not the worst pickup in the world.
Yeah, I know we didn't see Siren, so I don't think this is a grind play.
Mm-hmm.
Or no,
maybe right. Trying to get some spells for Tella, figuring we're going to have to use the old man for a bit here, so might as well do it.
Yeah, Supremacy's got it right, is definitely up here for spells for Tella. That would make a lot of sense.
And also, Night Dew brings up another point. If there is a Cecil in the seed, there is a Cecil in the seed, and at this point he's probably going to be either underground or on the moon. So we have at least found a light brand.
Yes, but more importantly, Z-Man has found the best key item in the game. Z-Man has, in the Eblin cave, has found the pan from the Staleman trap chest down here.
Nice. Yeah, that means that the check in Sylph Cave is going to be very efficient, and that's on K3+. Sylph Cave is an incredibly important position.
Yeah, I mean, the only tough thing is that without a true Black Mage yet, that it can be super slow, but, it's hard to resist 7 trap chests, and with the pan, it's a total of 3 different item checks.
3 different item checks and 7 trap chests.
Yeah, it is the find that you want for sure. And Blaze, we don't pam our pants in this household, we cook with butter.
Pidge using the Grimoire to try and get the speed kill on the Mom Bomb.
Doesn't get it, though. I mean, you need to be 10,000 damage over, so it's going to be real tough to pull it off in this spot without catching a really lucky Bahamut and being really fast. Alright, so Nitsky is got his hook now, so...
We will probably... Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We will probably be seeing a check on the tail before too much longer here, I would imagine.
Yep, Artea is loose on the overworld, so has that ability to go ahead and make that check now.
And Z-Man is about to actually find his first character, having avoided picking up anybody else so far. Just going for all those checks.
I mean, Adamant Armor Kain can get you there, with a real
It's
good
true.
weapon. And it is the character I think everybody wanted to see this run for this one. We've got 17 swords for the man himself. Edge is going to join the team here. Z-Man is probably incredibly happy about this, but I'm sure the other 3 runners who all will probably be under here soon enough will also all be incredibly happy about this.
Yeah.
What Z-Man doesn't know is he's the first runner here.
Yes. And we're about to check the rat tail, and it is a crystal ring. I don't hate it.
I mean, it is the best ring in the game. It has the highest defense stats of any piece of equipment for the arm slot in the game for magic defense. And it also adds 5 agility, which is really fantastic. If you, say, find Palom and you're doing Sylph Cave and you need Palom to go first.
Yep. Or you just want, say, Edge to go ridiculously fast.
Yeah, with all of the power gear that you could potentially get on these seeds, an Adamant Crystal Ring Ninja Hat Edge with 2 Moss Immunes can get up to an agility of around 70 in the end game, which is just as fast as Aromas. It's pretty great. Speaking of which, Z-Man loots a Ninja Hat immediately.
So we might actually see the 70 agility dream come true.
Possibly. The big thing though is also what Z-Man did is that he was able to put the boomerang or full moon, I forget which they had found on Edge momentarily, just for a moment, and then removed it, which means now Edge is going to do full damage from the back row, which will be awesome for his damage output while also awesome for his survivability.
Yes, a back row glitched Edge is one of the best and safest physical attackers in the whole game.
Right, Nitsky is taking his hovercraft down to Ablon, so he does not remember that he has the rat tail in his inventory potentially if he hadn't checked it already. But that's okay. We know it's not anything, so he's not going to get punished for that, which is fine. And all of our runners are now making their way through the funnel to the underground, with Z-Man with the bit of an advantage right now, finding the second trap chest. Artia and Nitsky shortly behind, and Pidge is trailing a little bit further behind as she made a couple of stops to do some shopping.
Yeah.
I mean, the nice
continuing to do a little bit of shopping. I'm slightly surprised by that.
Silk webs are super useful for certain locations, especially if you end up having to do, let's say, the Darkness Crystal pops early and you have to do early moon.
This is
Silk
true.
webs are great. Also for some bosses, especially the fairly quick and high damage first boss here in the tower, so it could be very problematic.
Yes.
So it's a handy thing to have a few of those lying around, because the double slow is useful.
Yes, and Z-Man getting the full life glitch on that 4 ogre chest, finding the pass for his trouble. Oh boy.
Well, that's the first part of go mode for our team. We needed a way to get to Zeromus. The pass will get us there.
Yep.
So what the pass does for anybody who's newer here is that it allows us access to the pub in Toroya. In back, there's a room that is was a dancer's room in the original release. It's been carved out and is now just a quick passage from Earth to Zeromus' altar.
Everybody finally finding their pans, and that means that the Breadmen do know that that there is Pidge not going for the pan. That's
did Pidge miss the pan? Did they miss the box with the pan? Did both runners miss the box with the pan, or did Artea get it?
Artea did get it. I'm not sure if that was a communication error or what.
Maybe she's gonna save and go back just for safety.
Yeah, that looks like what it is.
Yeah, and Cape said thank you for that. Yeah, there's 4 parts to go mode. We need the Legend Sword, we need the Adamant so that we can forge up the crystal, we need Underground Access, which is the hook, which we have right now, we're on our way, and we need Z-Fight Access, which is the pass. So we really are 2/4 of the way. We're a half the way there, but we still need both halves of the crystal. Z-Man taking down Cindy, the center sister of the Magus trio, and is now going to work his way through the other 2, and so we're going to get to see who this... We're going to get to see that his first boss is down, and we're going to get to see is the second boss Water Hag in the blue cape, or is it the Bubble Gauntlet? Water Hag, easy, completely free, 3 attacks and you're through. Bubble Gauntlet, 16 enemies, going to hit fairly hard in this spot. Could be a little risky to take it without a safety save.
Edge requires Flood and Blitz.
And Z-Man is going in and gets rewarded with a freebie.
Nice. Although, that means we actually do have a lot of really scary bosses still hanging around. I'll point that out.
Yeah, as a runner, though, this is a spot that I want to see. This is a spot that I want to see a bad boss, not there.
Oh, for sure.
Like, give me the freebie here. Let me have it, because I want to get underground and keep things moving.
Absolutely. And especially by the time we get to... If we end up having to do like, some moon diving, but by that point, everyone's going to have enough power that the really scary stuff won't be as scary.
Yeah. And Z-Man will be our first runner through to the underground. 35 minutes, is going to pop through the door to the crystal room and get, he's going to get all the crystals that have been hiding here in Upper Babel. I promise it'll be great.
Our runner's pretty much high-fiving at this point.
Yeah, again, this is sort of a choke point. It's a bit of a funnel. Artea walked right by the chest with the pass in it. It's only 3 steps off the route. Pidge is going to make the stop, though.
Yes. Now, I would imagine we're going to see Artea doubling back here in a little bit.
I would really hope so.
I would also really hope so.
The pass is obviously that valuable. I mean, Nitsky, of course, is going to make the stop knowing that it's here, so... Makes a ton of sense. Artea is going to find the Magus Trio here, and I believe Kain, with the amount of power that Kain has, and Edge with the amount of power that Edge has...
Yeah, this is not going to be too difficult.
Nope. Hitting for 1600 on the center sister, so doing that good damage, and then it's gonna try to circumvent the wall. Of course, it's gonna land on him, because that's how it works. Z-Man taking a moment, considering he's got a lot of good options. He did not snag the tower key, though. That's still in Baron. So, he's not going to be able to make the full tower clear if he goes there, so it looks like he's going to be on shop sweeping duty to start.
Shop sweeping, and also possibly making this early Dwarf Castle check. I wouldn't be surprised if Z-Man does this, since Z-Man still only has 3 characters.
Yep, but one of those characters is now Edge with business end of the business.
And also a Kain with an Avenger.
Yeah, as pickups go, that makes Kain incredibly dangerous, and we've got Coffins and Cure 3s here. Still haven't found Sirens, which allow us to grind really easily, but more tools to do more jobs here.
Z-Man's selling off the Sylph Summon, I guess, presuming that Rydia will not be found soon enough to be relevant, perhaps.
Alright, well, I'm going to be mildly biased for about 5 seconds here, but I'm no longer rooting for Z-Man.
Possibly same. And yep, our Artea is heading back for the sprite. I'm watching too much chat. Heading back for the pass, and Tella gets killed for the trouble.
Yeah, but you really need the pass. That's a necessity item, so, that makes a lot of sense to go ahead and run back for it. It is really interesting to see, actually, how Pidge and Artea sort of took their way through this, where they sort of traded off back and forth to get through the chest when they're both in the underground, so... I'm not sure how well communicated that was, but I think that does take a lot of communication to pull off properly.
Z-Man doing the full loot check of Dwarf Castle, which I'm not sure I completely like as a play. There's just so much loot you can get elsewhere in a K4C that I've never found a lot of value in doing a full clear of Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of items here, which is great and all, but by that same token, it's a lot of time. It's out of the way.
And the Dwarf Castle is enormous, and you have to walk through the whole thing in order to actually get all of that loot checked.
Yep, but they're gonna do it anyway. They're gonna work their way through. Z-Man is doing the check here at the check here at Dwarf Castle. Finds Octomom in spot 1, which Edge Blitz is actually really good against.
Yeah, and it can be a little scary. If it would be more scary if Kain didn't have the adamant armor, because early on Octomom is ridiculously fast and can hit fairly hard, but two really strong physical attackers are just going to make very short work of it.
Yep, while, of course, Nitz and Pidge and Artea are all clearing out Water Hag right now. Pidge landing the third hit, Nitz guy about to land the third hit, Artea landing the third hit. 3 runners hitting the underground. Z-Man is going to give us our look at this character and second boss here. I think a big reason why he's doing this is he is a little character shy.
Yep. And of course, can we get some hype in the chat for some of our first ever subs to the Free Enterprise channel?
All right, Z-Man is rewarded with the Quake Kid, gets Palom, finds Kainatsu. Doing all right here so far. Also now has access to Twin Magic on top of everything else. Not super useful at this point, but...
Now, I like finding Quake Kid here, because it is possible to catch him up pretty quickly, as he immediately gets all his level 2 stuff off the bat.
Yeah, maybe one Siren away from catching Quake as well if we find Siren, so real close to getting that power as well. On the other side...
Artea going straight for Sylph Cave, getting that big check out of the way nice and early.
Nope, not doing the check at all, ignoring all the treasure chests. He's got the pan and is about to hit the man. Yang is about to join the Cranial Trauma Club tonight. Not going to have a really good night himself, but this is really important.
I actually am not a super big fan of doing this without checking the chests. That is a lot of chests going begging, and you might end up having to check these anyway.
Yeah, it's a long run, but there's a strategy to this. Certainly, is that you want to get it over with. Artea now has an Avenger Sword for Kain, so gonna be doing all right.
Yep.
Not doing all right tonight though is Yang. Yang is currently unconscious.
Yep. There's no better sound than that of pan hitting flesh.
Well, Nitz guy remembered that he had the rat tail now, and he's going to go above ground. He's going to do the rat tail check. He's going to get a crystal ring.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, from a strategic standpoint, it might have been better for him to dip Sylph with the pan and do the 3 items as well, do what Artea did, and make the quick dive for Sylph Cave, just to sort of make the above ground play a little bit more efficient. But
I still don't hate it.
Better to be sure. Better to be safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm. And I also just still don't hate picking up this crystal ring, just because you have multiple people who can get a lot of mileage out of it. And Nitz guy going straight for that maximum speed edge.
Yeah. And the pan check, first item.
Here we go.
Is the greatest item in Free Enterprise history. And the second item is the even better than the greatest item in Free Enterprise history. So we've got the Twin Harp and another Sylph Summon, because we have to have a Sylph Summon.
Whoa!
But the big thing is
chat, I hope you're ready to hear some music.
It does not. It does. The big thing is it doesn't punish Pidge for not snagging that pan.
And also, we have seen a Sand Ruby at Wharf Castle. Thank you for reminding us. That's for us.
Yeah, so much going on. So it's a little bit hard to sort of make sure that we're all catching everything that's happening here.
As chat gets to hear the dulcet tones of my keyboard.
Yep, but, more importantly, Z-Man is grabbing the 2 chests down here, finds monsters in the second chest. It's actually just centipedes, so that's fantastic. The weakest trap chest of the 7. And so our first trap chest check in beautiful Sylph Cave is going to give us a ribbon helmet, super useful hat, the best helmet in the game, gives you protection from all status effects, a ton of magic defense, a little bit of magic evasion, and makes you adorable.
Which of course is important for Porum.
Alright, so Z-Man's making the pan checks right now, so is likely to find that...
that Porum is basically invincible at this point, by the way.
I mean,
and
close
also
to it.
Yeah. Are Taya actually checking the chests in Cave Magnus? Which is surprising to me, because whenever I make this play, I almost never check anything here.
I mean, with the T4 flag, which means that any loot can be in any box in the game, some of these loots are not super out of the way, and ends up getting rewarded with a crystal sword. If Artea finds Cecil, will be the happiest runner on the base.
And a sorcerer robe. Also, a sorcerer robe. That is a pretty good pickup for Quick Kid.
Yeah, we don't have Cecil yet, though, so the crystal sword is basically just a big old rock at this point in time in your inventory. But again, if you find Cecil,
yep,
he can basically single-handedly destroy Zeromus with that thing. So,
indeedy. Artea going ahead and actually putting some gear on Tella.
Yeah, whatever it takes to keep him alive, right? Nitsky found the first trap chest in the lower tower of Babel, but didn't get anything, so 3 more trap chests, plus the tower key, plus the boss at the top. And finds a Leviathan summon there as well, so if we do find Rydia will be ready to rock and roll also, which will be pretty great.
Yep.
Alright, I can't hear the music, but
the real
we'll be able to...
is, where on earth is Rydia at this point?
We don't know yet.
Yep. Let's get some hype for music there in chat. Me attack you.
Yep. We've got.
And also, Pidge doing the revive strats on the 5 warrior chest, which I like. That is a lot of experience.
Yep, right. 38,000 is going to get everybody a big bump of 3 levels there, so that'll be pretty awesome.
And shutting up the music.
Well, first Pidge did get Excalibur from that chest, so again, she'll be very happy if she finds Cecil, but Cecil not in the cards right now.
Do. Welcome to the Millennial Fair, everybody.
Yep. while we were listening to the music, or while everyone else was listening to the music, Pidge in the Land of Summoned Monsters found the Legend Sword in the key item chest, and found sirens in the shop. So that's two beautiful things to find. Maybe she'll find some free bosses down here for the trifecta, or maybe not. But, oh god, no, that is definitely a maybe not. She finds the double Lunar Kain machine here. Lunar D's might be okay to fight. Wyvern will torch her instantly in these spots. Oh god, goodbye Pidge. You're never getting this. You're never getting that Moonveil off here, even with that high speed.
Yeah. An adamant armor in Cave Magnus. Hey. That's not awful.
It's not the worst thing. Z-Man is going to find it too, so, gets the check off the table. Gets you some Chrono Trigger music for your troubles, but also does not get anybody any further in terms of progression. And the other boss is Ogopogo. Well, not only are these two bosses not free, they are the opposite of... What's the opposite of free? It's Ogopogo and Wyvern in these two spots.
Highly costly.
The Astra spot has the second highest agility of any boss spot in the game, other than, not counting the Zeroma spot, but other than the Evil Wall spot in Sealed Cave. That is going to be absolutely brutal if that has anything behind it. I believe our runners are going to be gambling on the fact that they need to go literally anyplace else than those two bosses right now.
It's a gamble I would make too.
At least they know what the bosses are. Death incarnate.
Mm-hmm. And with Pidge going up the Ill Tower, I'm guessing that Artea's going to be heading into Sylph Cave?
Nope, gonna make a quick dive first down. Grab Sirens for grinding purposes, because I believe Artea is the better runner from an individual skill level. So maybe trying to convert these Sirens into a kill on the bosses down here eventually.
Possibly.
4 trap chests in the upper tower in the lower tower don't do us any good. So we're down to bosses at this point. Pidge has started the tower now. Lower battle's cleared out. And the boss up here, though, is Volvalis. Our runners, well, they've got Kain. This spot's got a ton of health, but this shouldn't be a big deal, honestly.
Alright, and we've got Artea loading up on those Sirens, and Nitsky getting ready to go for Valvalis, and also an encore of music coming up.
All the good things happening in this particular seed here. Able to get Kain up in the air, so gets Volvalis to come out of the spin, which removes all of that evasion that she has and magic defense, that multiplier that she gets. Yes, Baka Shinobi Pan was turned in. Sylph Cave item was the Avenger Sword, and then we had the Twin Harp, which led to an Adamant Armor, which is where I was trying to get, and the Sylph Summon was the second item from Sheila.
Also, I think you are correct. It appears that Artea may be going for the for the levels on the levels on the team. Yeah.
Now this is a fairly sensible call here. Gonna patch up the party a little bit for safety's sake, but
yeah. But going to probably get some levels and actually kill those lunar bosses. I mean, you've got Edge and Kain at a power level where you can do Ogopogo at least. Wyvern's more of a question mark, but Ogopogo could be doable with this team, especially if you get...
I think the big problem with doing Ogopogo here is just that you're going to need to have Kain in the back row with Edge in the back row, and you're going to need to use those Cure 3 potions, most likely, because there's no way Porum and Tella survive the fight.
Yeah.
Just going to take too much damage from the melees in the Leviathan spot. But back row Kain and Edge are going to be able to stand up to it with the adamant armor on one, and so that might be doable. It might be a Kain solo job, but it'll be real interesting to see if they can get a payoff out of that.
Meanwhile, it turns out that the elemental fiends are all hanging out in the Tower of Babil as Mill and Z goes down like even more of a chump than usual.
And that spot has all of 1,000 hit points and not much defense to speak of, so usually by the time you get here, you're just gonna chump whatever shows up in that room.
Artea looking comfortable with those levels, and Artea's going to try for at least one of those bosses.
Yeah.
So get excited.
Right, while Nitsky at the top of the tower has found a box of explosives, the package, which is a character, but they already know where Mist Dragon is, so they don't care about that. And I don't know if Nitsky really cares about the character at this point, but the option exists.
Yep.
Pidge is going to go up to do Volvalis, while Nitsky is going to do Mill and Z on the way down.
I'm mostly concentrating on this upcoming, I would imagine, Ogopogo fight that Artea is about to take a crack at.
Yep. But we shall see. So Artea, is down here, and it looks like he's down here for the business end of the business. He's gonna put an adamant on Porum.
Yep.
I don't know if I agree with this one. It's gonna make these fights go long, is the big thing, because your second physical attacker may or may not survive. Not in love with that personally, but I can see why you would do it. Protect your white mage, make sure that she can't die. Also a good play.
And also getting the crystal ring onto Edge.
Yeah, we want Edge
a little bit of stat checking.
Want to make sure Edge can go as fast as possible. Going to drop the speed to 3 to try and make sure that he can get off the veil here as well.
Yeah, going to actually take a crack at doing that fight against Wyvern.
Yeah,
I will be curious to see if that works.
This is definitely a Wyvern setup, so we are gonna see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so our look at the tower key item is gonna be. It's gonna be our way to the moon. Those two bosses are gonna lie fallow for a while, I believe, for the Krushers. They've got moon access. Did Artea throw Sylph in the trash? Well, I'm not rooting for Artea anymore either. Ooh. Well, now I'm completely unbiased again. Hooray!
Hooray! Now we hope for the seed to explode? No, we don't.
No. Now we're rooting for Wyvern. Supremacy Tower Key was at Baron Inn with Pella. The only runner to not get it was Z-Man, so Z-Man does not have access to the Tower Key to get up to the moon. Pidge will find out that moon access is in play in a couple of minutes here. Artea goes in for Ogopogo first, though.
Not surprised. I would hesitate to go straight in on Wyvern myself.
Yep, Tifa's Revenge.
Even after setting it.
Yep, Ordeal's had an Assassin's Dagger.
Mechalink, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub.
Now we've got subs. Thank you for your support of the free enterprise community, support of the fact that Tella just got elbowed by Ogopogo for 500 damage, is now very dead.
The danger noodle strikes again.
Although the adamant armor is helping stand up to those counterattacks, so it should be doable for sure.
Oh no, Ogopogo is entirely doable with this setup. The question is how well you're going to be able to handle that opening Mega Nuke from Wyvern.
Yeah, if you can't get the wall up, well, you're gonna die. You're gonna die so badly.
Yep. And in the moon shop, we've got Bacchus wine.
Yep, alcohol, which lets you self-cast Berserk, which is super useful for hitting super hard. Alright, package from
Pidge. With the booze on the move. Pidge is selling some stuff to get a lot of booze.
I mean, you know, you've got Edge, you've got Yang.
That attack from Ogopogo almost one-shotting Edge.
Yeah, but still alive, so doing all right so far. Out comes the next big wave.
Z-Man selling off that crystal armor, I guess, deciding that Cecil is probably not going to be a major priority at this point.
Well, the big thing is you can also, I think he's got power shirts lying around and things, so if Cecil does show up here and he decides to sub out Tella for Cecil, well, you know, he's still got plenty of good armor options, so crystal armor, which stops you from being berserked, ends up being a detriment so often.
Yeah, and our moon character is... drumroll. It's Rydia. That's kind of what I expected. Now, will this guy actually bother with Rydia? Let's see.
The answer to that is no. It's going to hang on to Tella for the moment for the versatility of the weak spell, which is, you know, early access to a very good spell. Supremacy, very sad. We're all sad. We're all going to see the things that we are
very, very sad.
I'm not that sad.
And Pidge finding out that you've got moon access. And Artea about to find out what's on that danger noodle. An Odin summon.
That's not very exciting. That's not what you wanted to see.
That is not what you want to see.
Now, I guess Artea take a safety save and then take a crack at the queen?
Yep.
Like,
and that is exactly what's going on.
Yeah, the tough thing right now is, that's a cabin. That's going to be a wyvern play. The tough thing, though, is that Z-Man does not yet have the tower key from getting Tella, so is going to be a little bit slower getting to the moon than everybody else, which could come into play if the second item is up on the moon.
Yeah.
As
Z-Man going for the danger noodle, getting obliterated.
But he's got Kain at very high speeds right now, doing just Kain things with that Avenger Sword.
Hashtag just Kain.
I mean, 3,000 damage a swing is kind of the business end of the business here for sure.
And Nitsguy doing some weak strats on the some weak and life strats on the hairdryers.
Yeah, these are worth a ton of experience. I believe that you get about 50 grand for clean life glitches on all of them. There's 45.9, which is not bad at all. Z-Man, Odin Summon. I don't know if he's going to take on the queen either, but here goes Artea. Nitsguy gets a Leviathan from the hairdryers, so that's not a key item.
Nope. Possibly regretting giving up Rydia at this point, maybe, but we'll see.
Alright. Gets off Starveils. Alright, the fight is on now. Survivor, Forum, everyone else, dead. So gonna need to recover this fight pretty quickly here. Asura's spot is, again, very fast. Gets a Silk Web up, which is actually one of the really good uses if you can get one of those up before Wyvern starts getting going. So should be able to take out this fight without too much trouble. But the slow actually matters an absolute ton here. Gonna get the whole group up, hopefully.
And looking a little bit shaky there.
Nah, that new kit for 400 on Forum, so gonna be pretty well all right as long as she doesn't get nuked again. Yeah, the big thing everybody realizes that Nuke has a lower multiplier, and Wyvern has a much lower multiplier on top of it for Nuke. The magic power actually goes down. which means that ends up being pretty safe for the most part. The only tough thing here is that with the wall up, Forum can't heal herself, so it's going to need to get potions thrown at her just to make sure she doesn't pass out dead.
Yeah.
I mean, those relatively weak magic spells, though, against people without adamant armor, however, different tale for a different time, certainly. This guy looks at the boss, realizes it's a freebie in this spot. It is the one set of the Baron Guards. Z-Man, not so fast.
Not fast enough. Takes the quad 9. Will Z-Man take another crack at it? We'll find out.
Maybe goes Moon. I think the play here might be go get the tower key and go Moon, but there's also Sylph Cave that's still in play, and I believe he's got Quake Kid, so gotta get that legend sword first,
no! Param takes a very unfortunate nuke there and goes down, and this is making the fight a little bit rougher on Artea, but manages to recover.
Now she's dead, though. She's just completely dropped. I think the big
Again.
thing is this fight is doable because he got the Star Veil, or the Silk Web and the Star Veil off to start the fight, but this is slow going here. Tella gets obliterated. He's dead. Edge is going to try and keep recovering this fight.
Should manage.
Should be okay. This had better pay off, basically, because this is a huge time use. Porham evades the nuke there, though. Sidesteps it completely.
The glorious power of adamant plus I believe that's a crystal ring on
yeah.
There you go.
And down goes the Wyvern.
Nicely played.
But Wyvern only has the glass mask, so while getting through, you do have that peace of mind that you know that you don't have to go back for it.
Mm-hmm. And actually, it looks like Z-Man is doing some grinding to check that at same position. So the Krushers are not going to have that much of a advantage in this, for better or worse.
And we can put a number. We can put a number on the value in Cave Bahamut. Everybody, that shuriken will sell for 10,000 gold.
Yeah, baby.
Actually, it'll only sell for 5,000 gold. But either way, no value in Cave Bahamut for you.
Mm-hmm.
The memes are dead.
Yeah. Moonblaze Wolf with a good point here. We basically haven't checked Sylph Cave yet. We haven't done that much checking of the chests there, which surprises me.
Yeah, so the play would be for Z-Man to go Sylph, double up Underground and Moon. While Artea's going to go ahead and check Dwarf Castle. It looks like he's patching up for that. Yep. Either that or he's going to hit the Darkness Crystal, one or the other. But it looks like it is going to be a Dwarf Castle check. Pidge is not checking treasure chests yet. She is boss beelining right now with her level 1 Bridia. Actually is beelining to the Siren spot down here, so is going to try and get some grind off of some gold dragons.
A strat I would very much agree with this level 1 Rydia, who is going to be rubber banded to hell and back.
Needs a lot of levels, and this is a good way as any to get them. It's going to take a while again, because, your Rydia doesn't do any damage. Yang still doesn't do any damage. I mean, Rydia's got a Dragon Whip that's hitting for 516, which is okay, I guess, but no Dragoon Lance means no major output from Kain either, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get this done, but it's going to pay. I think that we don't want to underestimate how much this is going to pay off, while on the other side, Z-Man is going to do the best check in the game, my favorite place. God, I'm so biased.
I've found so much good loot in Sylph Cave over all of my seeds. I would have done, if I were playing this, I would have done this check almost as one of the first things I did down here after getting Hallam in the Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, well, the tough thing is without float, it can be a pretty costly check. It takes a long time.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta do a lot of healing. Float makes things a lot easier.
Oh, for sure.
And Nitz guy is also Looks like Nitzguy's also beelining while, Supremacy is right. Forum's got a Artemis Bow and Artemis Arrow, so actually just nice damage. Actually ends up doing more damage than everybody else. Z-Man's second monster chest, I believe, in Sylph finds the Toad Lady box. Is going to try and flood them before they start frogging the team, but that doesn't work out so good.
Nope.
Box Shinobi, I believe that Nitzguy had done ordeals.
That is a lot of levels for a little girl.
She's powerful now. Alright, Blitz takes out the frog, so no problem there, and Nitzguy is very well rewarded with a freebie boss here at the Lunar Dragon spot. Finds 2 guards instead. The 2 chests for the ribbon items are not too far behind. Z-Man not getting a key item for his troubles here, so 1 item down.
Oh, and Nit's doing the really clever thing and pulling off the life glitch in this fight in this spot. That is going to be worth a lot of experience.
Yeah, gonna end up, I believe, worth 150,000 experience when all is said and done. Yep, 150,000 experience because of the life glitch. Finds a life staff, finds a crystal sword. That's not exactly what you were looking for down here.
It's still the best staff in the game for Porum. I don't completely hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of the meta play, right? Kind of the meta call has been to go down here and beeline these bosses down here first before anything else. Because sometimes you get freebies and things, so there's that opportunity. Like, double red dragons on the other hand of it is, not ideal. Pidge still interested in getting levels on her mages, which makes good sense here. Just wants to make sure that we've got as much power as is possible.
Yep.
And this guy making the race down to the Ogopogo spot right now.
Getting fast and float, nice 3. Yeah, I would say that Porum and Rydia are pretty much ready to go at this point.
Yep, Z-Man finding nothing in the 3rd trap chest there, so...
Going for another King Ryu fight. I guess Pidge is just thinking of getting almost all the levels needed to fight Zeromus at this point?
Yeah, just looking for hit points, it looks like here. Yeah, Supremacy making no pitches, maybe a little bit less comfy with these dives. Again, newer runners, not so comfortable with the tools at hand, might be looking to do this. Artea is checking still Cave now. So we've got the Earth-Moon split going right now. And this guy finding a behemoth chest here in the subterranean in the core.
And Artea is doing sort of the upper cave first, whereas we've got Z-Man there poking around in the lower cave.
Well, I think when I classify these by the direction that you're going. This is the North Loop is where Z-Man is. He's at the end of the North Loop, which does, I guess, go deeper. While Artea is in the South Loop, so he's going to check the 5 chest room on the South Loop first, probably.
Right.
After catching his chests. It kind of helps. I know that when I was practicing this, I did a lot of work on talking about the locations themselves, just to make sure that we could really quickly communicate, in a punchy manner where things are.
All these free bosses on the moon.
It's free bosses / real estate. But yeah, this is Dark Imps, which they lock down to stop as well, which is just fine.
Yep. We lose Tella, but really, who cares?
Z-Man gets a Ninja Star from that chest, so, we're not really finding anything just yet on the North Loop is dead. Nothing to be found there.
Yeah, turns out that for all that we hype it up,
This game is not paying off.
Yeah.
Again, for a change.
Yep, and as Bakashinobi points out, Nitsukai probably just going for the dead Tella anchor strats at this point, because why wouldn't you? Especially with Kain just whipping them out like once a second.
Yeah, Kain
that's amazing.
Buzzsawing through our Z-Man now on South Loop, checking the same chest that Artea just did. So hot on heels, going to go for the 5 chest for next. And here at the Ogopogo spot, we have a key item. We have the Luca key, though. We have a chaining item. Not exactly what you wanted to find. Certainly not the adamant.
And also not something you're too keen on finding at like the heart of the moon, where you are a whole room out from even being able to use exit. Nitsukai going for the save. I was going to say that I was a little surprised Nitsukai didn't check the few chests that are in the lunar core.
Yeah, I mean, found a behemoth down there, so did check one chest down there at least that did net some information in regards to how many are left. Artea in the 5 chest room, I believe, has found the 7th and final trap chest in the underground, which Z-Man is about to fight.
Oh, and in case anyone is wondering why the runners didn't do the warp glitch in Dwarf Castle, aside from the fact that we at best would have only had Tella able to use warp, the flag set for these runs is in fact glitchless, which means that our runners cannot use several glitches, and these include the warp glitch.
So the 7th and final trap chest that we know about in Sylph Cave has the Earth Crystal for Z-Man and for Artea. So more things that could necessarily be done Earthside for these 2 runners. Well, Nitsukai is doing Dr. Lugai at the White Spear spot, while Pidge has started doing bosses down here at the, starting off at the White Spear spot, so starting off at the lunar spot.
Yep.
So we've got Nitsukai slightly ahead on Moon progression, but we've got some grind on Pidge, which has kind of caught up the difference a little bit. Artea gonna get their ribbon hat, and Z-Man's count is good. 7 for 7, knows that he's done, exits out, good on him.
I actually expect that he's going to beeline straight for Zot next. Check that.
Yeah, that is absolutely the play. He is definitely about to beeline Zot. He also does need to grab the tower key, though, so things are a little bit dicey because you're gonna need the tower key to go underground or to go moonside if moonside is the answer. But we're gonna find out in just a sec. Item at White Spear spot is another chain item. This is the Baron key, and this is where not having the Darkness Crystal is gonna hurt a little bit. With 2 chain checks now from there, what you want to do potentially is switch places.
Yeah, you'd want Z-Man to check the rest of the moon, and then Nitsukai go check all this nonsense on Earth and the underground, because there could be an adamant in both those places.
Yeah, so there could be the play to kind of do the split play, right? Where you could go up, right, send Nitsukai down, quickly grab the Earth Crystal. It's an easy check. Off of that easy check, dash back, right? And so then you have your person with all your Earth checks doing the Earth checks while your other runner is up on the moon, finishing up the moon for you. It is an extreme efficiency play. It requires a ton of communication, and it requires that you don't pass up chaining key items, which is always really interesting. Artea is going to take the time to check the south loop, or the north loop of Sylph Cave by the by, which is unsurprising.
When you're here, there's no reason not to just check all of this, although we know that this isn't going to pay off, but it is a very logical play to make.
Yeah, you're already here. You better check it out, because if you leave something behind when you're already halfway through Sylph, you're going to feel real bad at the end of the run when you don't win, honestly.
And of course, as Shinobi points out once again, Baron can be especially important because that is 2 key item locations, since Odin is also in play.
Yep. This guy finds another trap chest in the underground and finds in the lunar subterranean and finds a cursed ring. And so Z-Man knows the first character down here at the Tower of Zot is the
Kain
man himself. Too bad Z-Man never did ordeals. Feels real bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you
that's a question. You have the crystal sword. Do you try and pick up Paladin Cecil at this point for that much power?
I mean, it's super fast at this point. It's not the worst idea. Especially because, I mean, don't dismiss Fusoya. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, he is going to ship Cecil. He's going to go with the 3 Mage 2 fighter party right now. So going to go with Palamporum and Fusoya plus Kain and Edge.
Especially
with hybrid party.
Especially with Fusoya, I definitely don't hate it.
No, I'm into this call right now. I mean, it gives you a very stable, balanced party. You didn't go and get Yang. You're going to end up on... It looks like Artea's might not end up on the same party comp because he might go for Cecil. And, of course, the second boss here is 16 men at the top of the tower.
Oh. It is a whole bunch of dudes in one tower. It's going to be hold A to win, and Z-Man is going to be there for a while. Although, this will also spit Z-Man out straight at Baron.
I mean, that doesn't really do him any good, other than, getting the tower. Well, getting the tower key. It does him that good, at least.
Yeah, Nit's guy is the one with the Baron key, of course.
Yeah, Nit's guy is sweeping out the moon right now. So I think the really big thing right now for Z-Man is that, the really big thing for Z-Man here is that, does he go moonside now? Like, when do we see the runners who have found items on the moon, Pidge and Nit's guy swap down?
Yeah.
Because that might be what decides this run at this point. These teams are really neck and neck right now. It's been back and forth the entire way. And Nit's guy have a little bit of an edge, though.
Yeah, the Kain Krushers have the slightest of leads, I would say, but depending on calls and plays made, that could change very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Nit's guy's got a couple of extra moon checks belted right now, while Z-Man is slightly ahead here in the Tower of Zot. Nit's guy gets a Soma drop from that chest, so that's nothing as he continues to check chests on his way to the Wyvern spot, while Pidge is going to get her hands on a Luca key in a moment, as soon as she finds her hourglasses in her inventory.
And Moonblaze Wolf, the first time Artea went to the Sylph Cave, Artea checked no chests whatsoever, which was a play I was not super fond of.
I mean, he made the pure pan check just in case, made the fast pan check, which is something that not every team is going to make there, because a lot of teams want to go into Sylph to get their levels and clear out the bosses. They want to do everything in one shot, so...
And of course, Pidge finding all of the easy bosses down here in the Lunacore. And who is on the Wyvern spot today? Let's find out.
It's Mylan and friends. This isn't so bad here. Gonna drop an hourglass to stop 4 zombies from doing anything, and then just work his way through. So as bosses go, this one's not too tough. Z-Man is gonna get dumped off right in front of the Init Baron, which will help him get his hands on some more bosses, potentially for Fusoya, as well as the tower key for moon access. Because it's looking like he's going to need it unless this is the adamant. And send him home, everybody! Moon is dead. Moon is empty. Send him home. We're in no mode. Z-Man's got the rock.
Well, well, well.
Send them home. We are now going to be racing to the bottom here. Z-Man has both halves of access and the pass. Did not need the Darkness Crystal. No problem whatsoever. Artea is going to be shortly behind, but is also going to have the power of Paladin Cecil backing him up. Z-Man's going to have a fairly weak Fusoya in the party, but we are on now.
This is pretty much a race, yeah, because Artea's going to find the adamant in about 10 seconds here. Well,
no, it's got to get through the full
10 seconds,
gauntlet. It's got the full Fobble Gauntlet. It's going to be about 4.5 to 5 minutes, so it's going to be a while. He doesn't find anything. I mean, Ninja Hats would be real interesting just to up everybody's agility there, but Z-Man grabs a rock.
Dropping Kain. Okay, that's not the call I would have made, but okay.
Yeah, I didn't expect that either. Go with the triple Zerks.
Pidge going for what I was talking about a little while ago, going for those chests in the lunar core. With what they know at this hot second, I don't hate this.
All right, Nitz guy's done. He's going back. He's still got to grab the Legend Sword and Sirens from the Land of the Summoned Monsters. He's got to get the Earth Crystal out of Sylph. He's got to climb the Tower of Zot.
Yep.
But he knows what's going on. The Kain Krushers with the edge here. Artea's going to have a full-powered Fusoya with Cecil, with edge. Going to go for a hybrid strat lineup as well.
And also going for, I guess, a glitched back row Cecil? Or maybe just not everything lined up yet, yeah.
Not lined up yet, probably. But it's fine. He's going to get through this just fine at this point. It's going to be a little bit slower without Avenger Kain on his side, but he'll get there. Pidge is going to take out this behemoth, which will be really handy.
This guy beelining for some sirens to do a little bit of grinding, and
he also needs to grab that Legend Sword, which is a little bit more important right now, honestly.
Oh, I'd somehow missed that Nitz guy had not picked up the Legend Sword yet.
No, Nitz and Z-Man split their checks really well, and so now Nitz guy is going to have to do a lot of cleanup, which is been sort of the MO of a lot of teams, and it's not the worst thing, certainly. All right, he's got items, he's got exit magic, he's getting out of there. Artea's on the second monster pack from this, so he's got one more fight to go before he gets his just reward of the second half of the crystal. Pidge, nothing to do other than keep checking the moon because, again, she does not know that the other team's in go mode, so she's going to keep doing her thing, clearing bosses, and we're getting up experience. Mm-hmm. The big thing, the advantage that she has, though, is that she's picked up grind, right? She ground out a bunch of gold dragons before.
Oh, yeah. Like, as soon as Pidge knows that the adamant is in it's in Zot, she exits out and just goes for it immediately, and won't even have to do any like catch-up grinding or anything. You just go to Zot, pick up your rock, and then go straight for Big Z.
Yeah, no, and that's how this is going to go down. So now Artea knows, Pidge knows. I'm sure that some information was transmitted between the two, and Pidge is likely to finish this fight and then exit out, right? Like, take the experience points. Don't squander that.
Yeah.
Like, behemoths are worth way more than most anything you can do at this point.
Rydia getting slapped around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, she is the least of your concerns at this point in time with this lineup. I mean, you could add on Peasel as well for Pidge at this point, because she's got to go do... one, she's got to go ahead and do up the Tower of Zot. Two, maybe you dump Porum and you make Fusoya your healer, and you go quad Zerkers with the Bacchus Wines from the Moon that you definitely picked up.
Now, here's a question, though. So, for Nitz guy, does Nitz guy dump Tella as the super slow agility anchor, or do you keep the party that you have now, which is fully ground up and ready to kill Zeramus right now?
You dump Tella for Cecil, you dump Porum for Fusoya. Fusoya should have enough bosses belted that you would have a 1900 hit point Fusoya. that stops you from needing to grind, and you can go to Z right away. That could be the most powerful play that he's got here. Requires that he won't need to grind up Palom at all, or Porom at all. Z-Man, on the other hand, since Fusoya has only got 1,400 hit points, is going to really need to grind Porom up to about 2,000 hit points for safety purposes, maybe 1,800 if he's feeling lucky. Mm-hmm. Like he could go after this Siren if he really wanted to. I don't think he really wants to.
And Nitzguy heading into Zot right now.
Yep, Pidge on his heels, going down to get the Earth Crystal right now, so a little bit behind still.
Looks like Artea is going to be the first one into Zeramis, unless Artea does a little bit of grinding first.
Artea might be going for a little bit of safety grind on Palom or on Porom just to make sure. Yep. You could go straight in with the 1900 Fusoya here, but he wants to make sure Cecil's powered up a little bit.
Yeah.
Wants to get Cecil to probably around level 45, so a little bit of the rubber banding effect will be really good. The Crystal Sword will be really good. But, his grind's going to be much shorter because he just needs to snap Cecil back to get Cecil up into the mid-40s with that Crystal Sword. You probably just set him up to be Avenger glitched during the last fight, because we have like 9 Avenger Swords. This is gonna come down to the wire, certainly.
Cue Avenger theme. And this unused adamant armor on Artea is kind of making me boggle a little bit. Everyone is in such a hurry to get this done, because I would imagine both teams think, oh God, the other team has to have found that a while ago, and we're going to see some duns like any second now.
I mean, you just push at this point, right? Like, we've got Porom at 1900, so it looks like Z-Man is going to go the full 2000. It looks like he's going to go for full safety. Nitzguy is going to use that Avenger Sword to work his way through this first fight pretty darn quickly, which will be great. So this should go down pretty fast. Z-Man has...
Pidge going straight in for... I'm sorry, that's for the actual crystal.
Yep, Pidge has still got some climbing to do. She's got to get to the top of the tower. Again, she's trailing behind. Z-Man is looking at those levels on Porom right now, going, not quite enough. Might be the time to maybe move an adamant armor to her before you go up into that fight, but we'll see. And Blaze, it's only stressful to be on the moon when you realize the moon is not required when both runners are up there.
That hot moment when you realize you've made a mistake.
Yeah, and by the time you realize that you've made that mistake, the race is lost, so... Alright, Artea, 44 on Cecil, needs one more fight to get to 28 agility. Z-Man looking over his options here. Gonna throw the level 56 20 agility Fusoya into the center spot. Gonna realign some equipment here. He's putting a staff on Porom because he's that healer. Nitzguy, married to the idea of the Tele-Anchor, decides to bin Fusoya and bin Cecil both. Takes neither character, which means
he is wondering if he would do that.
I think you take Fusoya over Tele. 20 is just fine as an anchor, and you make the play with the double healer. It's a little bit safer. I think he's got the bosses belted that he would need to get to 1800 or 1900. Z-Man's going, though. Z-Man's going to be our first one here. Z-Man's going to answer the most important question in Free Enterprise. Space Drake, what is the most important question in Free Enterprise, by the way?
The most important question, chat, is whose face are we punching in today? And whose butt are we kicking today?
We'll work on that. You need to work, but we'll get there. It's fine.
Look, I'm equal. I'm equal opportunity. I punch and kick.
We're gonna make you're making Scala Kitty sad. That's gonna be bad for your seeds in the future, by the way.
Oh no.
There we go. Sad Scala Kitty. But we're going to the moon. 1 hour and 33 minutes. We're going to be on Zeromus' altar. And we are going to find out the answer to the most important question, which is, whose butt are we going to kick tonight? Let's find out, shall we? Looks like Artea, by the way, on that side, is actually going to go for the full 1900 plus on Forum, so going for full safety on Forum.
I'm not surprised.
Pidge bins Kain for Cecil. She's done with the traitor. Stabs him in the back.
Dun dun dun.
Gonna get that crystal sword action going here, but man, oh man, the chase is on still here.
Oh yeah. Like, this could still end up being real close.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's got to still get through this this whole thing. Pidge has got to get through this whole thing. Something could go wrong on this fight for Z-Man. Like, anything is possible right now. It's not.
That is a very squishy Fusoya. I'm just saying.
I mean, Fusoya, I don't think is the concern here. I think Z-Man's concern is getting his 2 Zerkers up to speed and streamlining it. It might be a longer fight with only 2 Zerkers. We don't know at this point.
What is Artea doing in Dwarf?
He is loading up on Cure 3 potions. He is making sure that he's got all the necessary safeties in play.
And I hope you like some brothers, chat.
Hope you like some Nier Automata, because we've got the boys from the block from Nier Automata, Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve. And I also believe that those are sprites specifically from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.
Artea, remembering he left an airship here. I think everybody's gonna realize they left an airship here. Alright, so fight getting off to a good start. Definitely about to Cure 3 that Palom. That's why you want to have Cure 3, is just for safety's sake here. Palom goes down, probably not the end of the world, but still going to sting a little bit, because that Cure 3 is also going to be consumed either way.
Yeah. Also, if I'm banned, then a Baka Shinobi is double banned for that terrible, terrible pun.
We like terrible, terrible puns, though. That's not how you get banned from these shows.
Rip.
Alright, so we've got Z-Man just keeping the party going, gonna get this Cure 4 off, again working with the 2 Berserkers. Soya also survives, so feeling alright so far. Kain dishing out about 3,000 damage a swing. Edge is dishing out about 4,000 damage a swing, so this should go pretty swiftly here, honestly. Nitsky is done. Nitsky has both halves. Nitsky has grabbed the rock. Again, with that edge on Pidge at this point in time, as Pidge is still fighting to court the 16 fighters here. Get some exit items, gonna pop it to leave. Gonna take it home while we've got Artea trying to get the party geared up for the fight here. Doing some item rearranging here. Got Cecil at level 44. I think that's enough. I think that should be 28 agility, which will be perfect. This guy gonna crack some sirens here. His form's at 1,770 hit points, so it's got a little bit of work to do for 2,000 or so. Z-Man reflecting nukes, trying to speed this process up here. Those nukes doing about 7,000 damage, so he has gone full hybrid here. Oh yeah, he is in now. He is going full hand. That is Palom and Forum reflecting spells at this point in time.
I do not hate it.
He does not want any part of this at this point in time. He wants to do a thing. He wants this fight over with. Full power here from nukes and whites. The white hits for 7 grand. The nuke hit for 7 grand. The 3,000 point swing. So just laying out the hurt right now. That's all, though. Crash and bang, crack boom, down goes Zeromus. 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 14 seconds from the start of this run.
Yep, get those GGs in chat.
All right, well, we'll only get half of it out. It's only a G. We're only halfway home. Nitch guy still needs to bring it home at this point in time.
Yep,
Artea is there at Zeromus. Pidge has to forge her crystal, I believe, now. She just finished up Earth.
Mm-hmm. Pidge realizing that she needs to forge her crystal.
Yep, Pidge with 2, 5, 7. I think she's got the full complement of 10 key items, so she should be okay to grind now. Right, she's got to get her Porum up to speed. It's 1,700 hit points, so doing all right on that front.
Rydia also still looking a little bit shaky, maybe.
I mean, Rydia we don't care about, right? We care about making sure that Paladin Cecil is fine. We want to make sure that Edge is fine. Got to make sure that your White Mage survives, right? That's the biggest thing. Dead White Mage does you no good.
Yes.
Nitz guy rearranging some spells. White Wizard, 56th level White Wizard here. 2,000 hit points. Nitz guy's done. He's on his way. Artea setting up the double Zerkers, gets the Silk Web off. Gonna start reflecting some spells. Gonna go real hard here, I believe. Pidge is just going. Pidge is going in knowing that the other team has a finisher already.
Yep.
She is just gonna roll the dice here, which is what you gotta do right now. Every second that you're giving up is a second that you're losing to the other team.
Because you have to assume that the other runner on the other team is just about there.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be close, probably. Pidge grabs the rock, so I believe she's about to go up. Nitz guy doing a little bit of item rearranging here, just to make sure everything is in place and ready to go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Artea having no trouble with this whatsoever.
Yeah, he's got the full setup working right now. Gonna get those reflected spells off of Porum here, using Fusoya as the main healer, just keeping everybody topped up, so playing it safe. He is in full hybrid mode, I believe.
Yes. With Palom and Porum throwing around their top damage spells, an 8k out of Palom. You always like seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, gonna need just...
This is gonna come down to the freaking wire. Holy crap.
I mean, the big thing is that if Nitsky finishes before Pidge, it does not matter at all. That would be the end of the race. But on the flip side of the coin, Pidge has to go now, right? Pidge is going early because Pidge must finish before Nitsky. So she is all in on probably a slightly weaker party just to try and make it happen here. Nitz has got a bunch of wine. Nitz took a little bit of extra time to set up the Avenger glitch for Kain by doing some unequipping and re-equipping to make sure he's got the White Spirit to start. So Pidge and Nitz are going to start a couple of seconds apart. Artea's setup looks good. Things are looking really safe here. So Artea's probably going to make it through just fine. Looks like
Pidge actually makes it into the fight ahead of Nitz. This is really going to be close.
Yeah, it's realistically about to come down to, does Nitz wipe on Zeromus potentially? Like, I think that might be it. Like, that may be the decider here. If Nitz gets through this fight in one piece, we're going to see the upset. We're going to see the Kain Krushers take it home. This assumes that Pidge also holds it together as well and holds it down for her team, and she's going in, and that's a Porum at 1,784 hit points. I don't know if she put a adamant armor on or not. I don't know what kind of protection that Porum's got. Porum going down could be really detrimental to their chances. Cecil, one knee immediately, takes a 1,700 nuke. Artea takes it home though, holds up his end of the bargain, 142.02. Differential is 5 minutes almost. It's 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Artea finishes though, so now it's really up to Nitsky. It's all in his hands. Pidge takes that first big bang. Wall is up on Yang. It's a clean nerf on the first one. It's pretty straightforward.
The question is, will Pidge manage to get a nerf on every single Big Bang, or are we going to see those really, really low health casters and low health Cecil go down?
We shall see. All right, Tellus survives, so he's going to throw a potion on Kain just for safety's sake. Nitz, I believe, has the full Zerker lineup set up with Cure 4 on Forum. 2,000 health Forum's in pretty good shape.
Now, unfortunately, I don't think Pidge did the Avenger glitch on Cecil correctly, so Cecil is not actually doing a lot of damage here.
I mean, Cecil's also underleveled. She did not push Cecil out to 45. So those strength multipliers that you get from continued leveling up are just not there. Wall was not up on Yang still, and Yang gets the white with Radiant and dies. Those spells are going to be lost to the Ether.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Tough. That is tough. Mecha reminding us use Star Veils, everybody. It's way safer. Big Bang out. Has the White Mage turn. Looks like Edge is going to die to this. This is unnerfed. Edge dead. Rydia barely alive. Forum alive. Cecil dead.
Yeah, this is looking really rough.
Yeah, Tella gets nuked. Is very dead right now. Nitsky, though, has the Zerkers set up here. Is even channeling a spell of Forum right now. Looks like casting Cure 4 just for safety's sake, although Tella's very dead. But just to make sure everybody stays topped off, she's got plenty of mana. The 3 Zerker lineup is standing pretty tall right now. On the other hand, we've got Pidge just trying to keep everybody up and alive. Pidge is definitely, I think, punching a little bit here, but she's able to get her party back in working order.
Yep. And is even probably going to get the nerf with this additional Silk Web.
Potentially, yeah, which will be really good. Nitsky Zerkers are there. I mean, Nitsky has assumed the usual position we see at the end of these races, which is 3 Zerkers going, 1 character dead, and we've got Porum just standing there waiting. There it is, Rocks Fall. I believe nobody's going to die. This is not going to do 2,000 damage to Porum, sorry to say. No, this is all over but the shouting right now. Some punches, some kicks, some swords. An Avenger to the face is going to bring it on home for Nitsky and the Kain Crushers. Their first win of the tournament comes at could not have come at a better time. 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 6 seconds. Nitsky takes it home. Congratulations to the Kain Crushers to advancing to the finals.
Yep.
Upending the bakery.
Indeed. That is probably the biggest upset that we've seen in this tournament so far. And Pidge just decides to go for the reset.
Pidge does take the wipe here, and that's going to sting a little bit more on top of all of this, but that is the way the ball bounces sometimes. That Big Bang, a little bit of a speed issue because she sort of rushed her Cecil, and things are a little bit dangerous.
But yes, that is a pretty definitive win and upset for the Kain Crushers. So GG's to them, and we have a lot of GG's in chat.
Yeah, what an excellent run! Certainly, just a lot of little things there. Catching the break that Z-Man did not need that Moon Access, did not need that Darkness Crystal. Ends up paying off an awful lot. I think Z-Man and Nitsky ended up in a bit of a back and forth battle here. They ended up edging ahead on their checks on both ends, though, and that ended up making the difference.
Yeah, I actually ended up liking that play with that Nitsky did, where you ditch both of the Zot characters, because yes, you're giving up the Cecil with the Crystal Sword. Yes, you're giving up food, but you still have basically a party that is fully capable of killing Zeramus very quickly already, and you have the whole thing set up, so there's no reason to. I just don't see much of a reason to introduce like any other kind of variable into that.
I mean, let's see if we can get the Kain Crushers up in here to maybe talk about it a little bit, because I'm really interested to kind of hear what they both had to say about this one. So
absolutely.
I'm gonna pull them on in right now.
Nope.
And we are joined by the victorious pair at this point. We are joined by Nitsky and Z-Man. Congratulations on the win today.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know Space Drake was just talking about it before we pulled you in, and I definitely wanted to hear from you first about this one, Nitsky, because we're really curious. You chose to take nobody from Zot. You chose to ditch both Fusoya and Cecil. Why?
So that's a great question. Z-Man and I talked about it just a little bit there. At that point, I had grinded, I think, a little bit more than Z, so my levels were a lot higher, and nothing against Cecil, nothing against Fu. I didn't have any of the gear for Cecil, so at that point, Yang and Edge and Kain were doing enough work there that I wasn't too worried about that. I grinded just enough, just in case a big bang went off. That poor didn't get basically one shot, so that was the reasoning behind that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes very, very good sense, and it paid off for you.
It absolutely did. For once, a gamble we made paid off.
So were you panicking a little bit when you realized that there was nothing key, there was no part of Go mode at all on the moon?
I was just ultimately happy that Z-Man was good enough to find Go mode, because I was starting to feel like maybe there were some rabbit holes I would have had to have gone down. That Luca key, I was thinking about that a little bit.
Well, how far did you even wind up getting on the moon? I mean, how many of the trap chests did you even open?
I opened, according to my tracker, I believe 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, Nitz did all the bosses and was about halfway through the chest checks when you found Go mode.
Yeah, I practically jumped out of my chair. I'm like, go!
Yeah. I was in the Wyvern fight when you said go, and I said I wish I could. I kind of finish this up here, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing was just from watching this race that everything was really kind of tight, but you were just edging ahead here and there, which ended up being really interesting in that you were able to sort of you were back and forth going through the funnel at the hook. 3 of you hit the underground at the same time. I think Nitsuka, I think you were a little bit ahead of everybody. But how did you end up distributing your checks just to make sure that you were being efficient, especially knowing that the tower key was not in Z-Man's hands at that point in time?
Well, as soon as we figured that out, that we were going to the underworld, there was no moon access. It's like, all right, Nitz has the key. It only makes sense for him to do the whole tower, and I'll futz around with the other stuff.
Yeah,
it only made sense. 1 trip is better than 2.
Yeah, that was the only thing that made sense to me. Same with Darkness Crystal. When I picked it up, me and Z-Man kind of joked. I said, "I've got 1 out here. If Darkness Crystal comes down from Super Cannon, I get to go to the moon, because I did not want to do Self Cave."
Oh, GG Pidge.
Yep,
and GG Artea.
Yeah,
GG Pidge is just able to push through here. It looks like she's in the Meteor phase right now. Not quite done. Still needs to get in one or two more good attacks, it looks like, before this fight is over.
Oops. Sorry for spoiling.
Sorry.
I also wanted to ask about the Sylph Cave, because in all of my K3 plus seeds, I often like getting the Sylph Cave out of the way a bit early, but both you and the bakery waited a while to actually bother doing much of Sylph. Was there a particular reason for that?
I think, and I think I mentioned this earlier, like on one of our first races. For Nitz and I, the Sylph Cave never has any value whatsoever. Never. And since I didn't have the darkness key, I wanted to just full clear everything in the underworld, and might as well just do the Sylph Cave, even though it probably is not going to have anything. Oops, go.
Yeah, the 7th and final chest that you had checked in Sylph Cave was the one that had the key item in it. You had checked everything else because you had gotten the chest down below when you went down the first time.
Yep.
And you knew your count was good and you cast Exit, and I was super pleased that your count was perfect.
Yeah, I had a hunch. I just wanted to double check that one chest, because I knew if I had checked that one chest, then I had checked everything else. I just wanted to double check, and then I'm like, nope, I'm good. Goodbye.
Whoosh. Yep, and GG's to Breadman's Bakery, and Pidge has finished up with a time, I believe, of about 1:52.
It was 1:51 and 33 seconds.
Yes.
They're a tough team. I mean, obviously they're a tough team. They went 3-0 in the round robin. I mean, they're a real tough team. I think we just got a couple of fortunate breaks, and I think we played pretty well. Certainly the best seed we played.
Yeah, both of the semifinal matches have definitely been wild, back-to-back, close, up and down affairs for all 4 teams, which has been pretty impressive to see. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull the Bakers on in here in just a sec.
Sure.
And, of course, we are joined by the Breadman's Bakery. GG to the both of you.
Hello, thank you. Everybody. GG's.
GG Pidge, GG Artea. Nicely done, nicely done.
Congratulations on your win. I'm very happy for you guys.
Aw, thanks.
Indeed, it's awesome. That kind of how it just flipped things around. It's awesome. Really good game to you.
Y'all got your revenge, so good game to you guys. Good luck in the finals. Kain Man had his revenge on Pain Man, so it looks like we're 1-1, huh?
Yeah, the big thing is I think it'll be a good watch. It was a super tight race all the way down. A lot of the same checks were being made, but I think that you and Artea were just lagging behind just slightly almost all the way down.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think all 4 of you made it to the underground fairly closely together, but the Krushers had a little bit of an edge. They got one runner down below first.
Oh, okay.
And that kind of ended up being sort of the major difference there.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think probably my biggest mistake was dismissing Kain. I thought I had time to get Cecil at high enough level with his crystal sword, and it just was not worth it.
Yeah, we found. I think Nitz and I each found a crystal sword, and I never actually did ordeals, so Cecil wasn't even on my radar. And I'm pretty sure Nitz sold his crystal sword.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. I went to Mount Ordeals because I thought I might need Tella's magic to get underground. I wasn't confident in my team's DPS at that point. I was like, oh, well, there's something that's weak to fire. I might need Tella, so I took him. But then I dismissed him, like, immediately.
I needed money.
I mean, you had 17 swords for Edge. Couldn't you sell like Masamunes or something?
I was convinced that Edge was going to be, at the end of Giant, but there he was in his vanilla spot, and I was like, thank goodness I held on to all these swords.
Yeah, that had to be like with your party comp the way it was, which was the date you had no party comp. At that point, seeing Edge must have been just the greatest feeling.
It certainly was. I was toiling around with the little white mage and a little Kain and a little Yang and
a little Kain.
this little itty bitty Kain.
Yeah, until he picked up the white spear. Then, it was sad at the beginning. I had ancient sword. It made me sad.
Well, Artea and I did a practice seed on Saturday, the one that Simbu posted in general, and that had demist at CPU, and then the demist chain was the legend sword. So when I went to Damstan and then I checked Watery Pass, I think I screamed into my mic. Like, I literally just screamed, and I was like, oh my god, it's demist, like, thinking that was going to be super good. Like, it was a white spear, which is good, but probably should have kept Kain.
Yeah.
Wait, well, I thought it was something else. I thought it was the Gunjir at...
Oh, no, you're right. It was.
Yeah.
White Spear was, I forget where it was.
I forget where it was. It was in the throne room of the bull. But
right.
the big thing is that I know that when you see the Mist Dragon, though, I think it takes a lot of stress out of the run because you're not going like an hour and 15 minutes in going, well, we've got like 2 checks on Earth and the Moon, and we still need the Darkness Crystal, and we haven't found the Mist Dragon yet, and I'm not sure what we're doing right now. So that always takes a little bit of the fun out of it for the commentary team as well, though.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, when Z said, "Oh, Misty's a bust," I said, "Oh, thank goodness."
I think that's how I felt when Artea said somewhere else was a bust that I forget. I'm tired. I need to go to bed.
Probably the two moon bosses at the bottom of Land of Summon Monsters, because it was Ogopogo and Wyvern right next to each other.
Yeah, did either one of you two beat that Wyvern?
Yeah.
Artea did both of them.
I did, yeah. And I did quite early too.
And I think doing it quite early, I'm going to say this because I think it might have cost us the Sylvan Spilunkers in our semifinal race. Was you did those bosses early and it took you a long time, Artea, and then Nitz went down, crushed Ogopogo, looked at Wyvern, got burned once and went, yeah, I'm good, and bailed out.
Yeah.
But I think that's where they made up the time. That's where the Krushers were able to get a little bit of a gap on you at that point.
Yeah,
I think the Wyvern fight.
It's really possible, but with Wyvern at that spot, I mean, I've been through a seed with Wyvern at that spot that was blocking progression, and I had Cecil at that point, and I was like, oh shit, why didn't I kill him earlier? So I really didn't want that to happen, which is why I decided to go and kill him early.
Yeah, no, makes sense.
That was a really expertly done fight for the level that you did it at, by the way, Artea. And pretty much everyone in chat was admiring that as you were doing it.
Well, thanks. All there is to it was kinda more like the edgy anchoring. I mean, that spot has 52 edgy or something like that. No, that's Leviathan, but Azura has even more, I think. So all I had to do is have a good edgy anchoring and hope that he doesn't nuke all my lifers as they try to throw lives.
I went to check the the Land of Summons bosses while Artea checked the pan because I skipped that chest in Eblin, and I was like, oh, it's Ogopogo and Wyvern, and well, I mean, I didn't say that. I had some more colorful words to say about that, but then Artea was like, okay, actually, I want Wyvern dead. I'm going there now.
Yeah, we actually really saw Artea go down, grab Sirens, go back up, stop and grind, and when we realized what was happening, that's when we were like, oh, he's going back down to kill his bosses.
Yeah. I just grinded on the moon for a while and it was totally useless.
Yeah, but you got levels. It's the big thing I think that people don't think about is that's time you get back essentially because you didn't have to grind a ton. But yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought that the Kiguryu grind was a good play for when you did it and what you knew at that hot second.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Like, Artea was doing a lot of stuff in the underground, and I felt like I had just gotten the Darkness Crystal, so I may as well go to the moon. I always, like, when we check shops early, like, I'll sell whatever I have to make sure I have Hourglasses and Sirens at any point in time. So I just went up to the moon, and I knew that I had what I needed to do the King Ryu grind, and it just kind of worked out. But then there was nothing on the moon of value.
Absolutely. So, does anybody have any final thoughts on this seed?
I should have taken Kain. I'm very upset with myself for taking Kain, but also I'm very happy for the Kain Krushers getting that W, and I wish you guys the best of luck in the finals. And thank you to the Restream team and to the organizers for having us in this tournament. It was a really fun ride.
Thanks for the organizers, thanks for the restream, the tracker, that we sometimes forget about them, but tracking 2v2 looks like a mess, a real mess, and really a great game to Z-Man and Nits Guy. Good game there, Kain Krushers. You got us there.
Thanks. And
Now win the grand finals for us.
We'll do the best we can there.
I believe. Look, we're Pain Man. Kain Man's our best friend. We gotta believe.
Yes, and thank you. Good game again to the Breadman, to the Painman. Yeah, hell of a game. And thank you to Demi and to Drake for commentating. Thanks to Supremacy for the restream, and thanks to Lufaz for the tracking. All great. We can't do this without you. We really appreciate it.
I couldn't say it any better than myself. Thank you to everybody, to Invenerable and Scarlet Kitty and Supremacy for thinking up of this amazing tournament to begin with, and for myself and Z-Man to be part of it, and for everyone else who's been a part of it. It's really awesome, and I guess Z-Man and I have one final race.
So, do you have anything else, Space Drake, before we wrap this party up?
Nope. Just a thank you to the tournament organizers for letting me in on my first cracks at race commentary a few races for this tournament, and I am looking very much forward to the finals.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the finals as well. We're going to find out when the Kain Krushers and their soon-to-be opponents, the Mighty Quacks, will be scheduling it. So we don't have an exact date yet, but keep an eye out on the Free Enterprise Discord. We will keep you posted. Of course, we are wrapping this party up. This was a fantastic run, of course. We will be throwing it over to Phantom Ryu in just a moment, who is also running some 2v2 practice. So also, we've 2v2 sort of taken the community by storm. Of course, on behalf of Scarlet Kitty and Supremacy and Invenerable, Lafaz, our tracker, Space Drake, and of course myself, Demerin, too. Thank you all, and everybody have a wonderful night.
Yep. And stick around because there might be a bit of a raid going on.